What's good, planty peeps? My name is Lily, and welcome to Peace Lily Plants. Today I'd like to talk to you about my least favorite plants, which is really just the plants that I'm not that good at taking care of. Because if I were good at taking care of them and they were absolutely beautiful, then they probably would not be my least favorite plants. So I'm going to show you some of my plants I have that are a little bit ugly, or even if they are pretty, they've been a real struggle to keep pretty. So let's just dive right in, but right before we do, please like this video, subscribe to my channel to keep up with my planting journey. First up, we have good old string of pearls. And listen, of all the plants on today's list, string of pearls is probably my favorite. As far as aesthetically, I think it's a really cute, pretty plant. I didn't always feel that way because at first I felt like they looked like field peas, but I've come around and I do appreciate how they cascade and the little balls and all that jazz. However, string of pearls are notorious for being extremely difficult. Most of the time when people get a string of pearls plant, it doesn't take too long for all the pearls to shrivel up like raisins. And then people are left wondering, what did I do so wrong to kill this plant so fast? Well, it's not your fault, baby girl. A string of pearls are just insanely difficult to keep happy. So this is a baby variegated string of pearls that looks absolutely awful, as you can see. The baby didn't have the shriveled up ones, but this one definitely does, so you will get to see exactly what I'm talking about when I say shriveling up like raisins. See all those little brown dead pieces? Yep. And I'm gonna throw up on the screen a picture of how full and cute this was when I first bought it. I got it in the mail just a month or two ago, and it's already looking
not nearly as good as it did.
Although if we're being honest, I'm lucky that even this much of it is still alive, because a lot of people just kill the entire thing dead right off the bat. I've experimented with it a little bit, and in a moment I'm gonna show you my best looking string of pearls and give you my tips on how you can have the best looking string of pearls. But basically what happens that makes them shrivel up like this is that they are very, very, very susceptible to being overwatered. I'm talking like you overwater it one time and the entire plant dies. That's insane. Most plants are hardy enough that even if you overwatered it once or maybe a handful of times, the whole plant isn't just gonna up and die on you. But this one is very high maintenance. So I mentioned that I got this one in the mail, and I'm gonna show you the one that I have that looks the best. And I've had it for maybe 4-ish months. This is the one I have that looks the best. If you look in the pot, you can still see there are plenty of little shriveled up vines, but I've managed to keep some of them looking nice and still having that nice cascading effect of the string of pearls that makes people want them so much. My tips for having the best possible luck that you can with string of pearls. Number 1, buy it in person. This one I bought in person. The other one that I just showed you that didn't look so good, let me see if I can pick it up without dropping it. It's a little hard with my hand-eye coordination. I think that this is such a fragile plant that they just do not ship well. So number 1 tip, try to buy it in person. Number 2 tip, buy the biggest possible one that you can, because that means that even if half of them shriveled up, you would still have a decent amount left. Because, let me pick up the small one again and remind you, the smaller it is, the easier it's gonna die, or this one isn't dead, but it just does not look good at all. So, buy it in person, and buy a big one, and with the watering and the sun, sit it in the window, give it as much sunlight as you possibly can. Yeah, some of them might shrivel up from getting too much sun, but with string of pearls, I would say err on the side of too much sunlight. It's gonna go a lot better than not enough sunlight. Also, since they don't like to be overwatered, the too much sunlight could help it dry out a bit. And lastly, only water it like once every 3 weeks.
For real.
And if you want to try to test when it wants to be watered, then you can try to squeeze the individual pearls. And if they're kind of shrivelly, then it's definitely thirsty. Since we're kind of already picking on the Senecio genus, I think string of pearls is called Senecio relianus. I don't remember the species of this one, but still in the family of string of pearls, this is a string of dolphins. As you can see, these individual things literally look like dolphin silhouettes. The only reason I don't like this plant is because mine looks like crap. But you know what? I kind of want to go and just buy a full basket and repot it and throw all of this in it and just try again. See what happens. But yeah, this plant, when it is in a full hanging basket, it looks so beautiful and so cool. But when you have a little lackluster plant like I do, then it's just kind of meh. So string of dolphins really only look good when it's in a super full pot. Next up, we have air plants. And air plants are so cute because they can go in all kinds of little decorative things. This one here in a seashell is so cute. And this one looks really healthy. But the reason I have to put air plants on here is because I'll be honest with you guys, I bought a bunch of them on a discount that were about to die a couple months ago. And I already killed like 75% of them. And let me explain. Well, first off, they were half dead, so maybe it was just a doomed prospect from the start. But second off, the thing about air plants is that theoretically they're a great idea. It's like, hey, you don't even have to water air plants. You just have to soak them for like 10 minutes, once or twice a month.
Isn't that so convenient?
But then if you're like me and you have a bunch of plants that you water, then I don't know. It's like actually it would have been more convenient to just have another plant to water. Cause yeah, you only have to soak these once or twice a month. But when do I ever just have the time and the willpower to want to soak some plants? So anyway, a bunch of them died pretty much from neglect, and hopefully I can keep these last few alive that have not kicked the bucket yet. But I will just go ahead and throw out there that there is one air plant that I love so much that I don't mind taking care of it. It is like the most, I don't even know, it's like the cutest thing ever. This is a, what is this called? A Tillandsia zebrographica. This is my favorite air plant, and kind of in my opinion right now, the only air plant that matters. And it's, there's no words. So darn cute. Next up on the list, we have a philodendron brandy, and this is just a teeny baby philodendron brandy that I have here. And funny story, back when I was a plant newbie, I bought this on Etsy, and I feel like I was a little ripped off on how expensive this was for a little baby leaf. And then later on, a few months go by, I buy another one that is like small-ish with maybe 3 or 4 leaves. It was insane. So then I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is just one of those plants that is so difficult that you really just need to go ahead and buy an established plant, not even try with a baby or with a cutting. Go ahead and buy an established plant, and then you will have success with it. So I bought an established plant, and guess what? It started dying of root rot. And right now, it's outside because when I have plants that are about to die and they're on their last leg, I just throw them outside. Say, okay, fight or flight. So anyway, I'm kind of mad about that. I'm mad that I bought a baby leaf and a small plant and a medium plant. The small plant and the medium plant died. I still have the baby, so I guess I'll keep caring for this and see what happens, but don't think I'm gonna try to buy another philodendron brandy anytime soon. So for the final category, we have succulents and cacti. And listen, I know there are a lot of snobs in the plant community who just completely turn their nose up to succulents and cacti really just for the fact that they're so common. And I mean, I can be like that sometimes, but I can acknowledge that succulents and cacti are really cute when they're in a cute pot. That's when I'm a sucker for them. However, I cannot say I really like them because I do think that they're difficult. And it's ironic because for some reason, succulents and cacti have the reputation of being the easiest plant ever, and that has so not been my experience. What I find is that you have to be careful about the watering. The sun is kind of a no-brainer. You put it in the window, give it as much sun as possible. But the watering is a little tricky because some people will tell you, well, there are desert plants, you don't need to give them water except like every once in a while. But then I've had succulents that died from getting too dry. And I've had succulents that died for root rot. A little tough. You really don't want to let them get too dry. In my experience, that will kill them. I'll show you just a couple that I have for funsies. So, like I said, I'm a sucker for succulents and cacti when they're in cute pots. So we got a cute, adorable little pot here. And we got the mama plant, and then we got a little baby plant in the pot. But I don't know if you can see, or even hear, how dry these bottom layer leaves are. But then every time I try to pull them out, I'm pulling out things that have roots on them. So I just stopped pruning it. Just let it do what it does. You can probably see from the state of this plant, it's alive, but it's not the best looking thing. So again, succulents can be a little bit difficult. Look at this cactus. Look how sad this looks. It's probably thirsty AF, so I think I need to give it some water. He's bent over like an old man. Poor little guy. Here's a normal cactus, an Easter one, I believe. And this one looks like it's dry AF also. Like I told you, everybody says, oh, you don't have to water cacti. But look at my cacti. Super dry. So yeah, anyway. I killed like half of this. It just straight up fell off. And then it's recovering now. And you can see some of the bright green pieces are new leaves. So this thing did not cake the bucket. So I guess I'll say that with the Thanksgiving and Easter cactus, at least they're a little bit more hardy. Still pretty tough. If you're wondering, well, I should have explained this earlier than now probably, but if you're wondering, I'm leaning over, picking things up off of my desk. And the last thing that I want to pick up and show you is a cute little succulent cacti tray that I made with some succulent cacti that I got gifted for my birthday, and in my opinion, this is the easiest, best, cutest way to keep succulent cacti. Easiest because with them all being in one pot, you just water one pot instead of like 6 individual pots. And it's the cutest because I just feel that succulent cacti look good when they're together in a pot like this. It is funny though because I doubt that anyone remembers, but in my birthday haul, I had this succulent in its own pot, and I had another cacti similar to this one with the red poofy. There was one with like an orange poofy. And yeah, back to the point of cacti being difficult. One day I rolled up and the other cacti had completely turned yellow and shriveled up for no apparent reason. So I just plucked it out of the tray and threw it away and went over to my soil bucket and kind of scooped out the soil where it was and put this one in there and then put the soil back in. So, hopefully all the babies in this pot will live for a while. But yeah, that would be my recommendation if you want to do succulents and cacti. Get a cute little tray for them and put them together. Put them in bright sunlight. And don't forget to water. People will tell you that you don't have to water and they are wrong. Well, anyway, that's my least favorite plants. Not because I hate any of these plants, but because they're hard to care for. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, and thanks for watching to the end of the video especially. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I should have pointed this out earlier, but it's this plant lady sweater. Not a lot of fun.
It's getting cold, y'all.
Well, anyways, just one more thing. Wherever you are and whatever your circumstances, bloom where you were planted, honey. See you in the next one. Bye.